Okay, today we're going to start the next section, which is multiplying fractions. We're going to do a lot of fraction operations. The good news is we're starting with the easiest one. Multiplying fractions, guys, is very, very simple. So we're going to walk through the process, make sure you understand the steps and why we're doing what we're doing. Make note, you do need the two colors. If you hadn't grabbed those yet, please grab them now. You can use them off the student desk, or you can get your own. Miss Martin baked some brownies for a Thanksgiving party she attended. The guests were so stuffed with turkey they barely ate any of the brownies. Mrs. Martin had 2/3. Leah, you need to move. Stop talking. She had 2/3 of the pan left. Mr. Martin found the brownies after dinner and loves brownies, so he ate 5/6 of the brownies that were left. What part of a whole pan of brownies did Mr. Martin eat? So there's what we're asking. So here's where our two colors come in, okay? So the first thing we did was we divided the pan into thirds. 2/3 of it were left. So we're going to divide it into thirds. And we're going to color in two of the thirds. So you choose whatever color you want. We're going to color in two of them. So this is where your color pencils are coming in. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now that we've done that part, now we're going to look at the next piece of it, which was Mr. Brown ate 5/6. So we're going to go the other way. We're now going to divide it into 6. And we're going to color in 5 of the 6 in our second color. Now we're using a different color for the coloring in the 5 of the 6. So we're going to color in 5 of the 6 this way. There's 3, 4, 5.
How did you so straight?
Because I'm good.
No, it automatically makes it straight.
No, it don't.
Yeah, it does.
I guarantee you it don't.
It does. Liars.
Liar.
The guy you read
The part that you don't like.
I don't.
That was a lie.
What was a lie?
That it doesn't make it go straight.
It doesn't make it go
It
straight.
does.
You said it did.
Does that look straight?
No, if you do
Does that look straight?
If you do a squiggly, do a squiggly.
No.
Do a squiggly line?
No, like, no. Mess it up a little bit of a straight line. Just mess it up.
What do you mean? Like that?
No, do a regular straight line.
I'm telling you, it doesn't make it straight, guys.
It does.
Okay. I just did like 5 different types of lines for you. I don't know how many you need to see that it's actually I'm a good artist.
Do it how you, no. Do a straight line.
Yes, I'm sure.
Do a straight line with a little downhill. Just do a straight line.
Okay, so everybody get those drawn. What we're going to look at now, look at our picture, and let's do some counting. How many of the boxes that we've drawn now are double shaded? So just count. Mine is actually really nice because the blue and the yellow go together, so you see a different color of green. How many green boxes do we have? 10. Now, after we did this, how many boxes are we looking at inside of our shape? Count them all up. How many boxes are there now? 18. So, is that my final answer?
Simplify.
Simplify. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Divide those by 2. Gets me 5/9. I'll tell you exactly when he's on fire, the boy knows his stuff. Now, let's look at mathematically. How would we do this? Now that you've seen the model of it, what does this look like mathematically? What we're doing is really taking 5/6 times 2/3. What we're going to do is 5 times 2 gives me 10. 6 times 3 gives me 18. I can simplify, divide that by 2, giving me,
Oh my gosh, that's so
isn't it?
Wow.
So, here's the bottom line. Here's the rule.
Stop.
Here's the rule you need to write down for when I multiply fractions. It's very simple. All I'm going to do is take top times top
equals bottom.
And bottom times bottom doesn't equal top. And then simplify.
Yes. Bottom and bottom times bottom.
Top times top, bottom times bottom, and then simplify. Okay? With that rule written down, go ahead and turn the page. On the next page, now we've got Mr. Johnson. He owns 4 acres of land. He uses to farm vegetables. 3/5 of his land is pumpkins. What part of Mr. Johnson's land is pumpkins? There's our question. So the first thing we've got is 4 holes. So in order to show this, all we do is color in our 4 boxes. So go ahead and color in your 4 boxes. Our second part on this one is now we're going the other way. And we have 3/5. So I need to now divide each of these boxes into 5 parts, and we're going to color 3 of those. So do the 5 boxes, or 5 lines inside each box. 5 lines inside each box. And you're going to color 3 of them. So we're cutting each box into 5ths. Okay? And then coloring 3 of those. So as we do this one, let's see what should work. That should work.
Draw 4 lines across the whole thing, then you're done. Do you guys remember when we were super young?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
remember that you could shove these different ways. And then I used to do the same when I was little too.
Okay, so color those in, guys. Now, here's where this one gets a little more complex, guys. First off, what did we divide these boxes into? 5ths, right? So after we divided the, whoops, I forgot to change my marker back. After we divided these into 5ths, after we divided them into 5ths, how many of those 5ths do we now have?
3,
3.
6, 9, 12.
So we now have 12 of those 5ths, right?
simplify mathematics.
Okay. Now, who understands how to turn an improper fraction into a mixed number? Michael?
You divide 12 by 5.
Okay, and I get what?
You get 2,
With how much left over?
2.
2 and 2/5.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Everybody okay with that?
Or you can simply just count them.
So we look and we see, okay, I divided my boxes into 5ths. I now have 12 of those 5ths. So I now have, if I were looking at the whole acres that he's got, 2 full acres would now be nothing but pumpkins. 2 of the next would also be pumpkins. The rest are whatever he plants for his other crops. Make sense?
Carrot.
Carrot, sure.
Oh, wait, carrot.
Now, mathematically, guys, stop. You know what? This table will need to break up because this is not working. When we look at this mathematically, we had that 3/5. We did it for each of the 4 blocks. But for math to work, I actually need to multiply a fraction by a fraction. So to make my whole number a fraction, I'm going to put it over 1. Now I have 2 fractions. Now it's the same thing. 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5. Doesn't that look familiar?
No.
Now let's simplify, and it goes to 2 and 2/5. Okay?
This is easy.
So when I multiply fractions and whole numbers, what's the first thing I have to do? What about the whole number?
Whole number times the whole number.
No. What did I do times the whole number?
Divide by the denominator.
No. What did I divide the whole number by?
By the other whole number.
By the
By the numerator.
By putting it over 1. So when multiplying fractions and whole numbers, make the whole number over 1.
Alright, let me see my pencil. Give me my pencil.
Then multiply, just like we did. Top times top, not equals. Bottom times bottom,
I mean,
and simplify, because we always simplify at the end.
I multiplied 4 times.
no one cares,
I
Michael.
multiplied denominator by the sum.
That was not good.
Instead of top, x top, can we do top? I'm just gonna do it.
Okay?
What are you talking about?
Now, let's look at another one. Mrs. Smith has 3 3/4 bags of chips left in the pantry. Her dog found them and ate half of the chips. What fraction of all the chips did her dog eat? So that's really the key, what fraction of all of them. Now, the first one is, with 3 3/4, that means I need to divide my numbers into 4 so I can show all that, right? So we're going to do 4s. And then we're going to color. Now, 3 of these are completely colored, right? Because she has 3 whole ones. So even though it's now 4ths, it's still 3 holes of those.
3 holes.
Wait, why are you coloring down? Not right.
Because I'm coloring the whole box. I got 3 whole boxes to color,
Okay.
right?
Oh, so we're supposed to do that.
So I have 3 whole boxes to color. And then in my last box, how much am I coloring? 3 of the 4.
Oh.
So on the last box is where I see the difference.
Yeah.
So now I'm only doing 3 of the 4.
Okay.
So go ahead and take a minute, go and color all of those. Now that we have our first initial piece drawn, now we need to take into account the fact that the dog ate half of those bags. So now we're going to take this piece and we're going to go ahead and cut it in half. So now the dog ate half of these. So I don't care which part you pick, it can be the top or the bottom. But pick that half now and use it, color it a different color. Whatever your second color is. The half. So that half is now going to be another color.
Yeah, I'm done. Messed up. I split it diagonally. That's okay, right?
Okay, so now I want you guys to notice, remember, we color everything, right? But what we're worried about is those double colored. So last time, because all of the holes were colored, we didn't see anything. This one, we actually see this extra little piece here, but that's not a big deal. That just means that that one is not being counted as we count what's together. So now let's count what we've got. Again, within each block, how many boxes do I now have?
8.
8. So I now have 8 in every box. How many of the boxes have double colors?
3. 4. 3.
There's 4 in the first one alone, guys. 4.
16. 12. 16.
Are they all double colored? 15. Okay, so again, turn this into a mixed number. How many 8s are in 15? 1 with 7 left over. So mathematically, what does this look like? Well, let me take a step back for a second.
We've not been doing math this whole time.
We have been, but we're modeling instead of doing the actual mathematical calculations.
That's science. That's science.
So, how many of you guys are familiar with basketball, or at least what a slam dunk in basketball looks like?
I played that some years.
Slam dunks? Everybody?
Yeah. I don't know.
Nobody on this side knows what a slam dunk is? Okay. So to help you remember how to turn a mixed number into an improper fraction, we're going to use a basketball analogy called the slam dunk. For any of you who have ever seen a slam dunk in action, they're actually pretty cool. Basically, the player takes the ball, he's rushing towards the basket very fast, right? And as he goes and gets ready to get close to the basket, he takes the ball and goes really fast on the bottom, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Okay? Again, talking to those that have seen it or at least know what they're talking about. If you don't know, just listen. He goes really fast on the bottom. But then when he gets to the top, he just kind of hangs there until he gets to the basket, right? So it goes from really fast to really slow. Well, mathematically, what's our fast operation?
The model.
What operation goes fast in math? What shows something being done repeatedly?
Addition.
Multiplication. What goes slower?
Addition.
When I just put pieces together. Addition. So just like a slam dunk, Zach, trying to talk. Just like in a slam dunk, if I have 3 3/4 and I'm trying to turn it into a mixed number or an improper fraction, I'm going to go fast, I'm going to multiply, then I'm going to add the last part. So what is 4 times 3?
12.
Plus 3,
15.
15. So that becomes 15. I don't change my denominator. It stays the same. 15 over 4. But what am I doing? I'm taking half of it. So 1/2 times 15/4. We just talked about multiplying fractions, right? What do I do? Top times top. 1 times 15 is
21.
15. 2 times 4 is
8. 15, 8.
8. Does that look familiar?
Yes.
Just like our model showed us we should get. So what did we do? What was the first thing? When I have mixed numbers, I needed to turn it into an improper fraction. So slam dunk to an improper fraction. Then multiply, just like we did with the rest of our fractions. Top times top, bottom times bottom, and simplify.
Do we have to write this every single time?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
The rules are slightly different for each of these, aren't they? Did we slam dunk when we just did 2 fractions?
No.
Did we slam dunk when we did whole numbers?
No.
No, the rules have changed a little bit every time. But because it changed, that rule changes just a little bit with each type of operation we're doing, you need to understand the rules for each type. Again, 2 fractions are the easiest. Straight up. Multiply, 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 multiply.
Yep.
Okay? Now, one thing we haven't really talked about, Miss B, you want to talk about the reductions on yours?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
because that's where.
Yep. So we'll do that. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page.
Go, Miss B.
Sorry?
Y'all right there.
Miss B's my favorite.
Whoa, it went the wrong way.
Yeah, I did. That's okay. Okay. Let's look right here, guys. You got it? No. Okay. I got you. Alright. The first one, guys. Let's talk about the rules for multiplying fractions. What do? We just did it. What, Avery? You've written it. Every single what? Top times the top, bottoms times the bottom. Okay, so what's 1 times 1?
1.
1. 2 times 2 is?
19.
Are we finished?
No. Yes.
Why?
Because you need to simplify.
You always need to simplify. So double check it. Is it simplified? Is it simplified? We're good. Okay. All right. Right here. I'll wait.
Guys, come on. Be quiet and pay attention.
This next one, we're going to do something a little different, guys. We're going to make the numbers a little friendlier before we actually multiply. So let's look at the numbers on the top and the numbers on the bottom in the numerators and then the denominators. Do any of them have the same factor?
Yes.
Okay. Good. 5 and 5. So 5 divided by 5 is?
1.
5 divided by 5 is still 1. Now we can do the rules for multiplying fractions. Top times the top, numerator times numerator is what? 1 times 3 is?
3.
7 times 1 is?
7.
What if I hadn't done that? Would I still get the same answer?
No. Yes.
Okay, let's look. What is this? 5 times 3 would have been
15.
over 35. Okay, what?
Simplify that by 5.
Exactly.
That'd be 3 and 7.
Okay, so does it?
Oh, so it's just quicker.
It is. Okay, so we went ahead and reduced it to make the numbers friendlier, right? And to make it a little faster. Absolutely. Well, and you're right. Okay, these numbers aren't too bad, are they? Okay, but when you get over here, they're a little larger. Okay. Okay, no, and it's still, we can't simplify those, so it's going to be a mess, but that's okay. All right, let's look at this. First, I see what? What do I see right here?
2, 2. A whole number.
What kind of number is this?
A whole number. Mixed number. A
Mixed number. What do I need to do with that mixed number first?
Change it into an odd.
Change it into an improper fraction.
So you times that
So
6, and that's 8.
3 times 2 plus 2 is 8 over 3.
And then 1/2.
Okay.
It'll be 8 over 6.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Look at our numbers. Can we reduce? Do we have a common factor?
No.
Zach, you got the last one. What do you think? Do I have any numbers? You got this
Multiply 3
one.
by 2.
Huh?
You multiply 3 by 2, then add the 2.
Wait. Look here.
Oh.
Oh.
You divide 2 and 8 by 2.
Good. Okay, so they have a common factor of 2. If I divide 2 by 2, that's, come on, Miss B. What is that? 1. Hello. Okay, 8 divided by 2 is 4. Equals what? 4 times 1 is?
4.
And then 3 times 1 is?
3.
Okay, right here. Am I finished?
No.
What do I have to do, Avery? Into a what? A mixed number. What is it right now?
That's an improper fraction.
Okay, so how am I going to make it into a mixed number?
You don't.
Friendly? I'm sorry, over here. Friendly? So I need to do what with these numbers?
You need to simplify it.
I need to, yeah, Avery's already told me I need to make it into a mixed number. How?
Dividing.
How?
Dividing.
I can't tell if you're saying what I think you're saying. Speak up a little more. Oh, okay, and how's she going to do that? What?
Divide 4 by 3.
I'm sorry, what? Huh? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Me?
Yep, because you didn't say it.
Divide 4 by 3.
Yes, divide 4 by 3. Or, yeah. Okay, and that's 1. And then how many left over?
Remainder 1.
Right, so 1 and 1/3, which was what Brinley was saying. She was saying we have to pull the whole numbers out of there. I got what you were saying.
2, which will be 3
Yeah.
and 1.
Okay, wait, I'm confused.
Okay.
Okay, how did you get 48/3 to multiply by 1/2?
No, this is not 48. This is marked out. I had a common factor of 2. 2 divided by 2 was 1, right? 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. That's an improper fraction. We've got to fix that. Now we've got 1 and 1/3. Okay? All right. Now let's look here. We've got 2 mixed numbers. So let's
do both of them and you put them
Yep.
together.
So 25 plus 4 is 29 over 5.
Wait, why don't we just multiply the two denominators to get them so they both have the same denominator, and then you just get it from there?
10 over 3. Okay.
Couldn't we do that?
It's 290 over 15.
Wait. Let's look. Can I reduce?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Where? How? I have a common factor of 5 right here. 5 divided by 5 is?
I don't know.
Okay, 10 divided by 5 is? Okay, so 29 times 2? Good. Okay, and then 1 times 3 is? 3. Okay, what do I need to do with this?
Simplify.
Why? Well, okay, by doing what? Huh? By doing what? I need to make it a what kind of number?
Wait, no.
Come on.
Mixed number.
Mixed number. How am I going to do that, Courtney?
Wait. You divide the numerator divided by.
Good. So 58 divided by 3.
Okay, but couldn't we just like multiply like 5 by 3 and 3 by 5 and just get the same denominator and go from there?
After you switched it, yeah, you have to make improper fractions if you want to do that. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because it's the same thing. We just simplified first. We're just making them smaller numbers.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
So-
that's the way that I learned how to like figure it out, so it's just very different.
Okay.
So.
All right. So this is going to be 1/3. Right? So did we get 19 and 1/3?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Right here, let's do our slam dunk process. 20 plus 1 is 21 halves
How did that
times 3 4.
This is very confusing. It's really easy. How is this really easy?
Can I do anything with these? Can I do anything with these?
No. Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
Yeah, but there are both denominators, right? What? You can times them. What's 21 times 3? Okay. And then what's the denominator? What's 2 times 4?
Hey.
Okay. So I need to make this into a mixed number. So I know 8 times 8 is 64. That's too big. 7, that's 56. With how many left over? How many? Good. So this is going to be 7 and 7/8. I take what's left over, put it over that divisor, which is the denominator. Okay. This last one.
I have another way. Which is
11/6 times, what's the next one? 8 times 4 is what? Plus 3 is 35 over 8. Do I have any common factors to reduce it?
Yes, ma'am.
I do?
Yes, ma'am. No, you don't.
No, you don't. I'm looking and I don't think I do. So guess what we get to do? Courtney, what do we get to do? Multiply. So 11 times 35 is what?
300. Wait, what?
335.
335.
I heard it.
385.
385. Yeah, Marcus. And then over 48.
I'm still dividing.
And so this is an improper fraction. What do we have to do? Avery? Very good, Avery. Okay, by dividing. So I'm going to say 385 divided by 48 is what?
21. How did you just get a random answer?
And that is random. Mark, do you know? Are you okay? So
We're like, and Mark, you have the answer.
384. That leaves us with 1. So this is going to be 8.
I'm gonna guess it right one.
1 over.
Oh, it's 9. It's 9. That's 8. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess it one time.
You think so?
It's gonna be 2 times 2. Before this.
Okay. Any questions? Any questions on changing those mixed numbers into improper fractions?
I understand.
Questions?
I do the 11 over 6 and 85 and 8.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. Hold on.
That's fine.
So it's the same thing. Slam dunk I use around the world. So you go all the way around the world. 6 times 1 is 6. Then you're going to add at the top plus 5. So what's 6 plus 5? 11. And you're going to come back around and put it back over that same denominator. Okay? Same here. 8 times 4 is 32. Do your little slam dunk plus 3. That's 35 over that denominator. Okay? So you do multiplication and then addition, put it back over that denominator. Come on, way back around. Okay? Any questions? Any other questions? Okay. There. Okay. Let's look at what you did. All right. First thing, what do we need to do, Zach? Good. Yes, that's what he said. We need to cross out where we see the two numbers that have common factor. Which two have the common factor? 2 and 4. The common factor is what? Okay, 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is, and then 5 times 2 is there anything I can do with that? No, we're good.
Wait, so I did that right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so I actually did that right. That means I was paying attention.
All right.
Like, it was so expensive.
Let's work with the mixed number first. 2 times 5 is what?
10.
Plus 1 is 11 over 2, and then I'm going to bring over 2/3. Oh, what can I do here? What, hurry? Right here. Yep. Yep. And can I do anything with this, or do I need to do anything with that? It's an improper fraction, so I need to change it to a mixed number, which means 3 and 2/3. All right, right here, 10 plus 2, that's 12.
That's 12.
12 fifths.
No, it's 17.
And then 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 3. What can I do here? Yep. Reduce it. Good. So I'm going to use 3 as my common factor. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4. 4 times 7 equals.
Hey guys, too much conversation going on.
Over.
Write down. Pay attention.
5. And we need to make it into a mixed number. 28 divided by 5. What is it? 5 and 3/5.
I did it.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, good.
Okay, on your homework, let me just explain how this one works, guys. What you're going to do is, on the left-hand side is a whole series of problems. You're going to do the math and just solve those problems. So for the first one, there's no reduction, so I'm just going to multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 6 is 18. On the other side are the answers. So on this side, I'm going to go to where I have 5/18. I now need a straight edge. So there's rulers in the student desk, or you use another pencil, a book, I don't care what you use. But you use a straight edge. You're going to connect this dot from your problem to this dot from your answer with a straight line. And when you draw a straight line between those two dots, you're going to go directly through a number and a letter. What's going to happen is down at the bottom, you're going to go to number 7. You're going to put in the letter T. Okay? So this is going to give you a hidden phrase that you need to figure out. I will give you a hint. It's 3 words. So there's 3 words in your phrase. So if it doesn't make sense when you get done, you probably did something wrong.
Oh, wait, is that the right answer that I should do?
Guys, I'm not done yet. Listen. I am not done yet. Listen, please. Several of these, you'll notice, are not given in simplest form. Go ahead and on your work side, turn those into simplest form, but just realize that you're looking at the improper fraction form for your answer over there, okay?
Does the extra credit count for a test?
No. Only on homework. Any questions on your homework? Yes. You can either show your work here, or you can do it on another side, or you can do it on another piece of paper. This is going to be your first grade for next quarter. So just realize that, actually I take that back. Your percent maze is going to be the first grade, because we're going to grade that next time. This will be your second grade for next quarter. Okay? So you guys have about 20 minutes left. You got that time to work